right, welcome to Variant Edition, The Discussion. I'm Nick.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Kevin. And today we're talking about Justice League New Frontier, which came out about 2 weeks ago.
About
2 weeks
Something
ago.
like that.
Based on a book by Darwin Cook. It first came out as like a series of, I don't know, 48, 64 page, and eventually it was collected, and eventually it was collected again into an absolute cover. I was a sucker. I've got every single version of it so far.
Nice.
Got it on Blu-ray.
I own the DVD.
So you haven't read the book?
No.
Nope.
And okay, so I'm the only one who's read the book. Okay, cool. So came out on DVD about 2 weeks ago, and let's just go to what we thought about it, and then we can kind of like intersperse some. I can intersperse like some facts about how it's different from the book.
Sounds good. So, okay, my take on it, it was good. It was a hell of a lot better than Superman Doomsday, which doesn't really say much, but like it was a lot better if you guys were kind of set off by Superman Doomsday of, it's just like, oh, DC's doing another animated movie. They're going to do to this what they did to that. No. Really good story, solid story, good characters. Neil Patrick Harris is surprising as hell as the Flash. I thought it was probably the best voice character in there. Actually, Lucy Lawless was really good as Wonder Woman.
It sounded like Wonder Woman. It didn't sound like Lucy Lawless or Xena. It sounded like Wonder Woman.
Exactly. And I mean, I think that went with the whole, like, character that she was. Like, I don't read much Wonder Woman, but it seemed like she was more like, F you, Superman.
Yeah.
F you.
The take that Darwin Cook did in the book, which they, like, completely got through in the movie, was like, this is a man's world, and,
well, it was kind of
man.
it was set in that time period where women were still like gaining their like rights and respects in like society. So, who better to do that than Wonder Woman?
Yeah. And I also thought that Kyle MacLachlan did a really good job as Superman, because they were going for that like golden age kind of stoic.
He was
Superman
better than the guy who did the voice for him in Superman Doomsday.
Yeah.
That was a bit too hokey.
Yeah.
But out of all the voice actors, I'd have to say my least favorite was Batman. I mean, the news that Kevin Conroy is back for Batman Gotham Knight gets me so excited for that movie, but hearing Batman in Justice League New Frontier, to me, he sounded like a rapist. He was creepy, raspy, like, oh, look, a clue. It didn't work! It wasn't...
But I think that was the whole point. Like, he was just starting out. He literally had just started, and he was trying to be creepy, and he didn't know what he was doing.
And he scared that kid, and it was cool that they gave him like the more original-looking costume and all that. But then I get a young ward. It did something to me. I didn't like it. Mike, before I go on more about Rapist Batman,
I enjoyed Rapist Batman. I thought his voice was phenomenal. I thought, like Kevin said, it was I'm just starting out in this world of crime fighting, and I'm going to be as evil and sinister as I possibly can be. Oh, I'm scaring kids. Got to redesign the costume. Get me a ward.
Yeah, I mean, that part worked. I mean,
like, that was awesome.
Yeah, I guess, like, because he was so different than Kevin Conroy, that might have been a bit of a... I didn't hear the whole rapist thing, though.
No, I didn't hear the whole rapist thing either. I think Pink's just reading into things, like the tentacle on the cover or whatever.
Whatever.
But yeah, I actually really enjoyed it, and not just because Hal Jordan was kind of spotlighted, but it was all around. It was a really good story. I think it really showed, since what you're dealing with, I took it as it was a pre-JLA year one.
Yep.
It was the setup, the whole like how these characters came to be involved with each other and why they do what they do. And, Hal Jordan all being like, oh, I'm going to fly a plane. I'm the Green Lantern! Like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Cool.
Like, I'm sorry. Pop, fall, splash. Yeah. Like, I gotta go save the day.
But you just remind me, like, I think one of the best parts in the entire movie was the whole, like, Green Lantern origin. I mean, that was, like, 70% of the film.
And well done.
Very well done. And I'm sitting here watching this like, geez, why don't they make a Green Lantern animated movie?
Yeah, and why haven't they ever, or a Green Lantern animated series?
Yeah.
I mean, you got the whole core.
And you got, like, fan favorite Kilowog, you throw him in there, you got some, like, buddy movie stuff going on.
Exactly.
It's like you guys are reading my mind. That's what's going on here. I've been saying this for years. Like, Hal Jordan, well, Green Lantern, but Hal Jordan needs... his own story, and I would love to see the crossovers, because you throw it in Green Arrow and do the whole, like, them buddying up thing. You can do the original, like, oh, Alan Scott, how's it going? You're a mystic, I'm part of the Corps. Let's go fight crime.
And, you can even throw in the Justice League here and there, and
Kilowog showing up, going, like, posers!
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. And then being like, oh, I'm going crazy now! Like,
and you could do the whole cosmic thing, because of all the animated series so far, The only cosmic one has been that the Legion of Superheroes one, and that's more like a kiddie one.
And that kind of sucks a lot.
Yeah, so they kind of played on the cosmic stuff in the JLU, but
I'm a fat guy who can get even bigger. That's a great power.
but he can bounce.
But he gets even. That's all he is a fat guy who gets even bigger.
You know what he couldn't get bigger?
Shit, I can do that. That's not his superpower. That's just a bad diet.
But you know what he couldn't get bigger?
That's true.
The ratings.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Canceled.
back on topic here.
Hal Jordan is the man.
He was, and it's funny because in the book he even had more screen time
Yeah.
because like
Well, no, I didn't read the books. Tell me more.
but he had
Do
more.
tell.
There was just a little more subtlety in his character, and like a few more people that he met. So when the end of the movie comes around, you actually know the guy he's flying with. You know, all
Okay.
of that kind of stuff is explained a little bit more because when Darwin Cook said that he was getting the movie adapted for the animated series, he had to cut out a lot of stuff for time because that was the one thing I thought the movie suffered from. It was too short.
Yeah, once
Like
again,
75 minutes.
75 minutes.
I would have
you know.
been satisfied with the full hour and a half movie.
Yeah,
You could've done it.
even
I would've
another
been
10
entertained.
minutes could have like fleshed out that ending a little bit.
You bring up another. I don't want to give anything away, but seriously, in my opinion, when I first watched this movie, the ending to me is essentially the equivalent of somebody coming up to you and saying, "Oh, sorry, you dropped this."
Well, you're talking about
That's
one
very
particular
true.
character at the ending, but yeah, I
It's,
see. What,
it's
yeah.
just the whole like.
See, if they'd had a little more time, the character in question in the book, I just remember it being a little more like he was set up against this center thing.
Yeah, I mean,
And it was like such a thing like, oh, we don't have to worry too much. This guy's going to take care of it. And then when he gets taken out, everyone's like, oh, crap.
yeah,
And in the movie, it just didn't have that gravity.
yeah,
No,
and it's just like it just
really
seemed
didn't
like
at all.
that
Yeah.
whole scene. I mean, I know that's important in the book, but the way that I took it is like, didn't they just do a movie kind of about that?
Well, yeah, but I mean, this is kind of like their origins and
Yeah,
getting together. And so the whole point was he almost had to fail so the rest of them could get together. But
Yeah.
but still, the book just seemed to be a bit stronger in that sense. The one part I thought that the movie got really right was Martian Manhunter.
Okay. I'll
Because
give you
even
that.
if they didn't put every single thing that they put in the book,
Did you catch
they
him
put
eating
all,
Oreos and drinking
yeah,
soda?
Yeah.
They put all the
awesome.
stuff that you needed. Him sitting in front of the TV, like
Morphing,
mimicking all
yeah.
the different characters,
Eating
getting
Oreos.
used to like Earth.
Drinking soda.
The only thing that I didn't get, and I know we
Fighting
talked
crime.
about this, and you said in the book they go a lot more in depth to it. Like when I saw this, it's like, okay, Martian Manhunter's watching TV, and he's like Bugs Bunny and morphing into like whatever he's seeing.
I like the Indian, actually.
Oh, yeah, it's
yeah,
my
that's
favorite.
cool.
But then there's some like old school like film noir like detective movie on. So he forms the shape of the guy from a movie, but apparently the guy in the movie is an actual detective with like friends and stuff in the force. Like that I just didn't
Well,
get.
no,
No.
people on the force should have recognized him from TV,
But they didn't.
but they didn't. It's almost like he took on like the look of this actor on TV.
But the guy had a partner. Like he meets up with his partner.
No, that he just
No,
looked
well, that
similar.
was like you
It
gotta
wasn't
remember
the
they
same
also
guy.
jumped some time.
Yeah,
So
Well, yeah,
like
but
that
he's-
he like earned his way on. He like made the grade to get on.
All
the
right, then
force
they
and everything.
jumped it like way more than I was able to like grasp. Because it seemed like, oh, the next day.
no, it's like
Hey, I'm back
because
at
if
work.
anything,
Well, I took
you
it
know,
to be like it was a couple of good years there.
yeah,
in
he
between
was
from
watching
beginning to end.
TV. He was getting acclimated to Earth.
Okay.
And then
He was
he
eating
decided,
Oreos?
hey, I can be a detective.
I just love the fact that he
Okay,
eats
then that
Oreos.
just seemed a little bit sped up to me.
The whole
Well,
movie was
again,
anything about Martian
you know,
Manhunter watching TV, eating Oreos, drinking soda. I would have been content.
See,
Even without the Hal Jordan story, like it would have been great.
it would've been
I'm Martian
funny.
Manhunter. This is what I do.
See, you know why it seems sped up? In the book, it started with the losers
yes.
on like this. They fight the war. World War II ends. They get stuck on this island full of
with
monsters
the dinosaurs and everything. Yeah.
And interspersed through all these different tales, you'd see the Martian Manhunter thing happen. Oh, then you learn this stuff about Flash or whatever, and you see more Martian Manhunter stuff. And then you see this thing about Batman, and then you see Martian Manhunter stuff. So it's like the book had it like spaced out a little bit more.
Yeah.
He had all these different narratives kind of coming, and eventually they came to the center, and then
Gotcha.
the whole center story kind of thing.
Speaking of the Flash, was the Flash not awesome for that little scene against Captain
Oh,
Cold?
That
Like that was like
incredible.
the first time I was like, the Flash kicks ass.
Yeah. I actually think the Flash was cooler in that than he was in the animated series.
Oh yeah.
Because he wasn't just such a goofball.
There's only
I
one
liked
good
him
part.
as the goofball.
There was
though.
only one good part in the Flash animated series was like, no, because I'm evil. That was the best.
Yeah,
Flash.
that wasn't.
But he
yeah.
was more badass
Yeah.
in this series, which kind of surprised me because I don't really care for the Flash so
I enjoyed
much.
it.
Yeah.
Wait, but you brought up another good point. Not with the Captain Cold scene. crap, there was something that was like really nice. It was a nice touch that somebody carried. It's leaving me, but I'll spring it up when.
Well, all right. So
it
we'll
comes to
jump
me.
into something I wanted to say. When I first read this book, Darwin Cook's art, which they actually did a decent job in
Yeah,
the
you
animated.
said you had a.
It was a little rough. The
think
character
it
designs were a
looked-
little
I don't-
rough.
I've seen stuff from the book. I haven't read the book, but I've
you've
seen
seen
some
it.
of the artwork, and I don't think the artwork looked. I thought it looked just like the old JLA animated.
Yeah, like a flatter version of that.
Yeah.
And which is kind of disappointing because he was involved in some old Warner Brothers animation.
Yeah.
I think they just went for a too simple look. I was kind of disappointed that not more of his look came through. Like in the beginning, those opening credits, that was stuff right out of the book or stuff that he
yeah.
drew. If the whole movie had looked more like that, I mean, it would have been so much more impressive visually.
Yeah.
See, but
know?
would that be too much fanboy? That's the question. Did dumbing down the design, and I use dumbing down, but it's, simplifying the design made it, I think, more approachable for everybody to get.
Maybe.
But
And
I don't-
easier
I
to
don't-
animate.
I don't really see a problem with the way that like Darwin Cook's art was beautifully done. I don't
Yeah.
know who wouldn't have not taken to that.
Yeah, the stuff with
It's just, it's like people don't like anime.
yeah,
you know?
the stuff
Yeah.
with Hal Jordan, like the
People don't
girls
like Ren and
look
Stimpy.
just like Darwin Cook's. The guys, not so much.
Well,
Yeah.
flushed them out a little bit.
Yeah. But the thing I wanted to get to was when I first read the book, some of his like page spreads looked like they could have been out of like Life magazine in the 50s and stuff. It was like very evocative of the time.
It's mainly like the colors that he
Mm-hmm.
used. So
But I mean, even like, he had this like, it opens up where there's this big, they're at a boxing match and like, it looks like I'm looking at a picture spread from Life magazine. It was
Yeah.
incredible. And then he kind of took the whole thing into like, because I guess in the DC universe, there was the Golden Age heroes, and then the Golden Age heroes kind of got the whole McCarthyism thing going, and like, oh, who are these people? They're secretive. We can't trust them. We don't know who they are. And I thought they played that really cool with the whole, like, kind of McCarthy thing where, like,
Oh, yeah.
they didn't trust
That
anybody.
one
Especially,
secret agent
like-
guy running around going like, we're going to get this guy.
yeah, or especially like when the Flash goes on the news.
Yeah.
and he's saying like, "Oh, I'm doing this," and then you hear everybody in the bar, "Yeah, what's with that red costume? It's for commies." It's like,
yeah, it was
so
great.
Yeah.
It was
But
great.
just remember what I was trying to get to before.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I really liked about this, everything with the Justice League is always aliens are invading. We got to fight them. This wasn't that.
No.
And it had a very Lovecraftian feel. The
Very.
movie starts off with this guy writing notes about the center, and then goes mad and kills himself. It's like, great, not for kids. Animated film, 5 minutes into it, someone kills himself. Awesome.
And then,
And
just go
and then
trying to
10 minutes
sacrifice a
after
kid.
that,
Oh, yeah.
Like, on the cross, trying to sacrifice
You
it?
sacrifice a kid, Hal Jordan caps somebody. It was great.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I liked how they had the cult going through, and it's like Batman's taking down this cult, but then that's tied into the center. They did a nice job with that.
And Batman has the best line
Oh,
of the
hands
entire
down.
movie.
Hands down, best line.
Best line.
would that be, it would only cost a penny for me to buy a book of matches
No.
and stop you?
Or
It's-
you go from the beginning. It's like he meets up with Hal Jordan.
John
he
Jones.
meets up with John Jones, and he knows he's an alien, but John doesn't think that he knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's and it's just the line. It's like so perfect. It's like, I got a $70,000 space rock, meteorite,
70.
a $70,000 piece of space rock to take care of the one in Metropolis. I only need a penny for a pack of matches. Wow, I just completely screwed that
No,
up.
no. You want to redeem that? It's, I got a $70,000 piece of meteorite to take
Hey.
care of the one in Metropolis. All I need is a penny to buy a book of matches to take care of you.
Yeah.
And then
Best
Martian
line.
Manhunter just like walks back, leans against the wall, sits down, just goes, "Oh shit!" It was perfect.
He knows!
And
The
it was
Oreos
like
gave me away!
definitive Batman.
Oh, and even when
Perfect.
Martian Manhunter comes to the Batcave, and he's like, "I'm leaving here. People suck. There's too much hate, too much violence." Batman's like, "Oh, great. Have a nice trip. Some of us don't have that privilege." He is fighting the good fight. And will never give up.
Perfect.
I think we're getting
Batman.
too fanboy into this discussion
Yeah,
now.
but
so.
Get me Hank Pym on the phone!
So overall feelings to wrap this up.
Oh, great. I mean, step in the right direction for DC animated films, like much improvement over Superman Doomsday. Characters are great. Just a really good story, entertaining film, and, nice stuff. So, thumbs up in my book.
Well done, all around, a great story, and, I think they need to do a Green Lantern series next.
I
should.
agree. I'd give it positive, but having read the book, I was left wanting a little more.
Yeah.
And just being like a big animation snob, I thought that the character designs and the animation in a few parts, they definitely put more time in some of the scenes than they
Yeah.
did in other scenes. And that disappointed me a little bit. It was very flat. I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. But, just being kind of animation snob about it, it could have been a higher level of animation, I think.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I still give it a very high recommendation. And for anyone who hasn't read the books, go get them. You can get them in 2 soft covers.
Yeah.
So they're not hard. It's not going to be that expensive. Or you can be a dope like me and get the comics, soft covers, and the Absolute.
You're welcome, DC. Right?
Yeah. And the DVD. I mean, no, I didn't get the DVD, but I got the Blu-ray. So, yeah. And if they put something else out. Oh, and the toys, poster.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like a huge Dharma Kick fanboy, so, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I'm embarrassing myself now. So, take it home, Nick.
Oh, yeah. So that's it for our discussion. Hope you guys enjoyed this little moment of us talking about a movie that you probably all have seen. So, yeah, and if you want more stuff like this and you don't know what Variant Edition is, go over to variantedition.com, watch our show. You got links to ways to watching us. That's about it.
Don't forget to send recommendations for what you're going to want to see in the future on the discussion for Variant Edition.
We want to talk about what you want to hear.
Either any hot topics coming up, something about like, oh, this guy shouldn't direct this movie or blah, blah, blah. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. Catch you later.
Make a Hal Jordan movie.
That was longer than 10 minutes, but that's not bad.
What? No, but we didn't want to give away too much of the ending.
Yeah.
The communism thing.